Hey, 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 welcome to Champion Your Gifted Child. I'm Laurence, your host. Today, I'm so excited to kick off our very first group challenge, okay? Where we're going to be reviewing hot topics you really mentioned. And we're going to be looking at resources, content, and context for your family. And so I'm so excited. For those who don't know me, I'm Laurence. I've been a corporate coach for 10 years, a parent coach for about 3 years, I am a recovering gifted mom myself. And definitely so excited for this group that we created, the energy, the synergies in the group. So our very first group challenge, day one, we're going to talk about emotional dysregulation, tantrums, and meltdowns. Should be fun. Okay, how many times have you been embarrassed at the grocery store, just wishing you never went there and just dreading to come out for basic food? How many times have you been so embarrassed when your child talked back at you, or when they started having a meltdown when you took away the iPad or the YouTube? And how many times have they screamed, they hate you, and you've been so like, oh my God, do you remember those outbursts, right? Do you still have those outbursts? Like where you look at the child and it's like, oh my God, what alien is that? And have you been like ostracized and blamed and just called too permissive, that you're too permissive and you're raising a brat? Have you had that experience? Have you lost your shit, right? Excuse my French. But quite frankly, I have. So yes, yes, yes to all of those questions. And I just feel I was never prepared for this, as a parent, especially with a gifted child, because you could ask that question to a mother, but to a gifted mother, it's time X'd, because your child is so emotionally involved and intense. So let's dive right into it. So our children, when they don't respond to when they have an emotion that's like overwhelming compared to what's expected, they call it emotional dysregulation. Now, when your child is losing control, crying, screaming, and it's a tantrum, right? When the child has a meltdown, and sometimes it's interchangeably used, those terms, but when the child has a meltdown, there's no calming down. There's no coming back. It's just, complete loss of control. So what we're going to do is take a look at what caused this behavior, right? And I just want to start saying that, Dr. Dan Siegel has this framework where, in this idea of, the brain, because he explains how the brain works to children, which is amazing, right? So the brain, you have the upstairs brain and the downstairs brain. The downstairs brain is where you have your feelings, your emotions. The upstairs brain is where you have your executive functioning, your CEO of the brain. That area that is able to control impulse, control emotions, prioritize, delay gratification, yada, yada, yada. So when that upstairs brain is integrated with the downstairs, then you have a child that's controlling their emotion. If the upstairs brain is off, so you flip the lid and you let your emotions run wild, this is where you lose control. And so I just thought I would mention that image, because I think it's helping the child even understand what's going on and put words and names and concepts to what they are experiencing. So I just love it. The other thing we're going to use heavily in this is that social thinking framework that really considers behavior as an end result. And so there's causes leading up to this behavior, right? And so at this point, what I would like to do is share my screen, because I'm about to share with you a tool that we use a lot more heavily with our 8-week program clients. And it's just, we prep them for radical honesty, and it's going through your life and search for those root causes that may be causing your child's behavior, so that if you fix the cause, you fix the behavior, right? So let me see if I can share my screen with you and show you this. So I hope you could see that. But basically, this is the iceberg, right? So your behavior is the tip of the iceberg. So let's say we look at emotional dysregulation, right? Whether it's just a dysregulation or a tantrum or a meltdown. The behaviors are what other people see, right? But everything that's causing the behavior is actually happening, underneath the water. So what can cause this behavior? It could be lack of exercise, right? Because when you exercise, you get rid of all this cortisol in your body. It could be bad nutrition. It could be a bad diet. It could be that the child is eating processed food or sugar too much, and it's just affecting their biological patterns. It could be lack of sleep. I don't know about you. I'm going to be very honest here and very raw and authentic. If I don't sleep, I become like this monster. And it's just that my brain is not able to cope with everything it is that I'm doing all day. And my days are very filled with, a lot of things. So lack of sleep is right there. This is a win-win. If you see that this may be happening, lack of sleep, you fix that. You just enhance the entire picture. Stress levels. Our life is very stressful. It's nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. And so we have to find ways to get rid of that stress in our body, because stress has negative impact on our health. All of this cortisol inside of us, all of this, it has impact on our body. And so the other thing I want to mention too is medication, only because some medications have side effects, and I encourage you to just pick up the thing and look at the side effects and look at the little sheet that they put in from the pharmacy. Because my experience, I just want to share with you, we had a medication for allergies that was driving my son completely crazy, like acting out, completely outburst all the time. And we switched the medication and we fixed that problem. It was amazing to just see, like, you fix one cause, it helps with the overall. Other root causes like a health problem, a health issue that's on and on, like ongoing. This may affect your child's ability to regulate. Personality, I want to share this with you. Personality, you can have a child that's very, very in tune, very strong-willed, very stubborn, very opinionated, and you can have a child that's very agreeable. And so personality definitely comes in the picture. Culture, and here in New York City, we have so many cultures. Things that are accepted, allowed, and, expected in one culture may not be what's expected in the US, right? And so when the child comes into, is old enough to go to kindergarten and has spent all this time with his mother culture, you have that transition that needs to be managed, right? Personality, environment, the environment. So the learning environment also affects, if the child is really under stress constantly, you need to expect emotional dysregulation. Is their way to just blow up steam. But just blowing up their steam that's been built, building up, that's been building up all this time. And then as we go down the iceberg, what you see is fear, like that sense of insecurity for any reason. And it's just, we have to drill down, but fear definitely causes them to lack self-control. Sensory processing is big with some gifted children. Some of them have sensory processing difficulties or issues, even if it's not a sensory processing issue, but definitely, they hear things louder. They smell things like from a mile away. They can see things from a mile away too. I don't know if you've noticed. Look at this thing over there, and then you spend like 10 minutes trying to see it, but you don't. And so all those things, it makes their world so emotionally intense. Their sensation, the overload of sensations, it could just, at some point they could just lose it. Emotional tank empty. If you don't spend enough quality time with your child, and he's already in other problems, he needs that emotional tank filled. And, you know, maybe having a tantrum is their way of calling your attention. ADD spectrum, all of those, what they call disorders, you know, may cause learning challenges, social challenges, and it's extremely stressful. I just want to point it out. It's nice to have a diagnostic, but it's also even better to understand the repercussions on your child's day in and day out. And so that's why the title of this Day One is Inside Your Child's Struggles, because the more you get inside their world, the more you get into their bubble and you really share with them whatever it is they're living right now in their lives, the more efficient your action is going to be, because it's going to land better, right? So be considerate. And lagging social skills, like that feeling inadequate, that social disconnect, you know, they feel that they're not like everybody else. Boredom is extremely stressful, and whoever says stress says issues, you know, because at some point it has to come out, right? So boredom is extremely stressful. And I just want to, again, just let's try to get inside of this problem and just feel and have the empathy to feel their pain. I don't know if, you know, you remember, if you've been in those corporate days and trying to climb up the corporate ladder, those meetings, they're endless and so slow. And you just, oh my God, it's so boring, you know, and you just, you know, you're just starting to hate me now, right? Because it's going so slow. It's true. It's extremely stressful to be bored 7 hours a day. If that's the case, this is one of your root causes, for a fact, hands down. Trauma, you know, any car accident, any family, you know, deceased, any continuous bullying at school, all those things are traumatic. And one way or another, the child needs to get this out of this system. And it's going to come out and it's going to show up as tantrums, meltdowns, or even like if the child is older, just being mean, you know, mean to their siblings, mean to you, not listening to you, telling you all the time they hate you. Sounds familiar? Well, it might be some kind of a trauma that they're dealing with, right? And anxiety is the fear of the unknown or the fear of something specific. It doesn't matter. It's the fear, this lingering fear that something's about to happen. And, you know, it can explain like anxiety, separation anxiety. It can explain like difficulty leaving the house, difficulty living behind the social routine, all those things. And so what we encourage our clients to do is to take a look at the entire picture, right? If you only look at behavior, you look at the consequence. You're not looking at the cause. So we need to drill down and continue to drill down. The only thing I want to mention now is that conventional discipline and conventional patterns like really only consider behaviors, and they only look at the fact that the child didn't comply, and they assume there's this assumption that this flaw in the personality that needs to be fixed with power and might, and it's just the child is not willing to comply. When my perspective is, along with Dr. Ross Green, that the child may not be capable of complying because of all the issues we just listed. And so is the expectation too high with what they're living right now in their lives? Do they need more time to process things and get rid of, you know, problem solve and just, you know, get rid of what's holding them back, or mitigating the effects at least, you know, if it's and so it's that assumption. The child, if they can, they will. They can, they will. And when you have that assumption that the child is capable, that you believe in them, that you believe what's best in them, you're going to help them manifest exactly that. Whatever you see in them is going to manifest, because you are their leader. You are the love of their lives, and they look up to you and they love you so much for being there for them, for holding them, and for championing them. Okay, so this is a little bit what I wanted to share. This is a blank one you can use. It's going to be my challenge to you, busy moms, gifted moms. Can you take 10 minutes for you to invest in yourself, to invest in taking that time to work in yourself, and to really try to get a full picture of that iceberg. Because the more root causes you find and work on, the better your entire situation is going to be. And so it is return on investment, big time. Every time you work on yourself, every time you work, you examine your parenting and your environment and everything else that's affecting your child. And you side with him and you're inside their bubble. You're inside their feelings and iceberg. Every time you do that, it's a step forward for everyone. So invest that time is my challenge. I want you to print this, take 10 minutes, maybe meditate before, just ease your mind, do this when you have time, or rather take the time, book it. Because if you wait to have time, you'll never have time. We're so busy. So, but just take the time, look at everything. It's a holistic view, right? It's a holistic view. A lot of things affect your child, and that's what's make it so difficult for them to handle. It's not one problem. It's often a variety of problems that are intertwined and so difficult to sort out, right? So this is it. I want to share with you some common actions of effective things that you could do that land with your gifted child. Again, this needs to be gifted specific, taking care of the child's individuality and environment. But again, you look at the behavior, you go to root causes, and then when you have the root causes, you match actions. So what we encourage people to do is to come up with a social skills development plan. A social skills development plan that's gift specific, child-centered, and adapted to the environment. And before I share mine, I want to just review some actions that are amazing. So if you find sensory processing, just allow for a relief. And it's called timeouts. Even moms need timeout. How are you going to take a couple seconds for yourself? Just breathe, recenter. Make sure you re-engage in the best way possible, in a calm way, in that leadership that they look up to us for. So sensory processing, I know when my child used to scream a lot, I used to have those headaches, and I just would ask my husband to take over for a couple minutes. I would lock myself here and deep breath. And I would still hear him scream from his room all the way on the other side of the house, but I would definitely take time. Mindfulness is when you have encouraging words, affirmations for the moment, like I am calm, it's okay for me to feel my feelings, find calming exercises you could do together, drink water. And so cuddling enhances your dopamine and your serotonin, and a good laugh too. I don't know why I don't have it listed there, but a good laugh is what really helped me a lot. And so the other thing so mindfulness is just being in the moment, right? Because you're overwhelmed with all those ideas and sensory and emotions and thoughts. For you to just be in the moment is just very dismissive of all this inner turmoil. It's just calming and soothing. So there's so many things with mindfulness out there. Try and test, right? It's running the experiment. And then I want to talk about collaborative and proactive solutions by Dr. Ross Green in Lives in Balance. The idea is that the iceberg behavior, the tantrum, the meltdown, the oppositional disorder, everything is because partly because the child has lagging social skills. And so what can we do to help? One of the lagging social skills is problem solving. It takes a lot. It's not only like a math problem, consider it. Problem solving is I'm tending to my environment, I'm picking up on cues, I'm understanding how things are perceived or not. I am looking for strategies to better that situation. I am taking all of in consideration. I'm prioritizing. I'm delaying gratification because I'm thinking of the strategy, yada, yada, yada. So problem solving, it's like this one activity that is going to trigger so many of those lagging skills, that the more you do it with your child, the more you develop that skill. It's like any skill. It can be taught and it could be enhanced, right? It could be perfected, even though perfection is something that doesn't exist in the gift world, but it could be perfected, like better, gotten better. And so that's what Dr. Ross Green stands for, is that involving the child in problem solving, get their engagement, get their prodigious mind to think about the problem. And children are amazing problem solvers. I challenge you, children are amazing. Try that. Really listening to what they say and hearing their point of view, because they will bring you very good points. Very good points. Okay. Scaffolding is the other thing that people use, and it's a big word, but what it means is you're creating measures to mitigate the outbursts. So it's sharing with you when I know that when I leave a birthday party and kids have had cake, I have exactly 20 minutes before my child starts running and acting up and being this daredevil. So I know 20 minutes, which means I'm leaving in 15. Scaffolding. I'm going to avoid, I'm going to prevent. And it's all about preventative measure, right? Because when the drama happens, it's really too late, that you just have to hold your child and allow them to sit in with their emotions. But the bulk of the work is preventative, guys. Preventative. It's going to change your life. Okay, what else could be scaffolding? Switching medication. You know, this singular is driving my son crazy. We have a lot of allergies here in the northeast of the US. Switched it. A huge difference. Huge. And so, like, the other example is, you know, your child is like addicted to screens. If you take it off like this, you pick up the iPad, you're going to hear, I hate you, and get that turmoil like exploding in your face. True. But, you know, like, it's taking steps, right? You take this, you know, you shorten the time, maybe you make agreements on the time. And when the child's watching TV, you have them look at elsewhere so that they don't keep going, and they don't get so addicted. You know, you have them look away for 10 seconds, speak to them or show them something, or scaffolding, right? The other thing I want to mention is the parent inner work, and it's because we also experience the meltdown. It's not only your child experiencing the meltdown at this time, it's us. We also have that rush of energy and feelings and despair and just distress of seeing our child like this. And we start asking ourselves, am I a good parent, blah, blah, blah. It's just, we have to find our own buttons, because if we know what our own buttons are, we can mitigate the effects of, you know, things happening to us. So from your past, like, have you been disciplined? So it's going to be difficult for you to let your child sit with their feelings. Are you experiencing high stress levels? Because if you are, you have that project to deliver. Things are going, you know, slower than expected. And, you know, maybe you may have some issues with your family. You know, your parents come, you know, I don't know, your friends, you know, calling you the mother of a brat or something. So all this stress level. And if you're outside in a public space and the child's having a meltdown, you're under a lot of stress. You need to recognize that. You are in a lot of stress, and your stress is not helping. So how can you mitigate is the point, right? Social thinking. So we're going to help the child. And I posted that video of Michelle's video this week. So how can we help the child tend to their environment, pick up on cues, draft strategies, control their thoughts, to project the best actions, the best behaviors out there? Play the game, you know, understand the group dynamics. How, you know, this is really helping them find their place in this world and really impact in ways that, you know, your child is meant to do, right? And so those are like methods, actions that work, that have been researched, that I have applied, and I'm recommending. I really like. It's sort of my thought process as well. And we have all clients play with that a little bit and find what works with that, right? Because cookie cutter approaches don't work with your child. We know that. So I want to share with you my son's social skills plan. It's his current plan, actually. So the intention is to help him get along with peers because he gets along, like his best friend is like 15. So he's not really interested, and it's because of the differences, intellectually, and he's just not interested. And I really would like for him to get along. So I put together, I looked at sleep because he's not a big sleeper. He loves to think and pray and play and read everything before going to sleep, and then that keeps him going. So I'm changing a little bit his routine. I've been changing his routine, but with stages, right? So going to bed 9 a.m., 9 p.m. max. More fruit and veggies in his diet is because his school was serving lunch, and the lunch was not very healthy. So I'm deciding to send out lunch now. 1 weekend a month for self-care. So he's super, super social. We have this French play group here in New Jersey. We have another play group with gifted kids, and he's got a million friends, and he's so social. But I'm limiting that to a point where 1 weekend a week we do far niente. In Italian means you do nothing. Do nothing, right? Just enjoy. I do my meditations. We do some yoga together. No activities, no play dates. Meditation midweek, like usually Wednesday, we do meditate, we do mindfulness, and I've crafted some exercises for kids. Oh my God, his age. So I have some kid his age, but then you can research what works and what could land with them. Exercises every week. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Mommy timeouts, because I need those and I deserve those. This is in every plan I do. So I can project the best of myself. That's really it. Quality time before bed. Your gifted mind coaching sessions. That's what we teach in our programs. It's just really understanding the social thinking aspect. And then more time with dad on weekends, because dad is very busy, and he does spend more time during the week, but a little less on the weekends. And so it's just because he craves that connection. So, all right. And so his soothing toolkit is what works with him is, and the intention, as always, you set your intention is to reduce tantrums and stress. Water, that's the first thing. I see that coming. I go to the kitchen and pick up my bottle of water, and I'm ready. And then I let him have his feelings. I don't know if you've seen the video I posted of Dr. Dan Siegel explaining that connect and redirect from his whole brainchild book and framework. Amazing work out there. It's allowing your child the safe space to connect with their feelings, whether it be anger, frustration, fear. Let them run their feelings through their body. The problem we have in this day and age is that we refuse to get in touch with our feelings. How this shows up in our adult life is that we don't trust our intuition. We let other people set goals for us that are not aligned with our values. And quite frankly, we have that genius, but we don't tap into it. We don't, because we don't trust our feelings. And so it's super critical for a gifted child to trust their feelings and connect, and for you to give them that space. So I give him his space. I just hug him, and it depends. If he's really distressed, I just leave him alone, and then I calm and calm him a little bit, but I let him have it. I do a lot of cuddling. My child is still young, but it could be spending a little more time doing something they like. If you have an older child, just if you know something that really soothes them, that they like doing, not screens, because that's not helping. That's not gonna help. But something they like, some food they enjoy, maybe making that special sandwich they like, or sitting down and playing board games if they like that, or deep diving in their favorite character right now. Like Harry Potter. Let's play a Harry Potter game if the child loves Harry. Something they like that you can engage with them. And a good laugh, yeah, you get that dopamine rush, right, in your body after 90 seconds, I think it is. So, you instead of having those cortisols through your body and your system with stress, what you'll have is dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone. And breathing, just breathing. Mindfulness, that's what helps my child. And what I'm inviting you to do is step away from cookie cutter approaches and take the time to do the exercise. And it doesn't have to be like the iceberg, you'll know right away. For the iceberg, yes, sleep, nutrition, and those are quick wins, by the way. Easier to fix than anxiety, right? Even though anxiety, there's steps you can take every day. So you can get those quick wins out of the iceberg exercise if you just book 15 minutes to yourself sometime this week, today, right? But then the soothing toolkit is a running list. So, this worked. Let me take it down, right? Do more of what works and less of what doesn't. Actually, if something doesn't work, just stop and do what helps them soothe and heal their tantrum and heal their anger, right? Because there's something bothering them underneath the water of this iceberg. And it's time to heal. That's their way. So I'm showing you a blank sheet for you to play with as well. And I go back and stop sharing. But yes, I just wanted to say that instead of just complaining that things are not easy and the child is a brat and this and that, setting yourself in action is what is going to help you. Action mitigates anxiety, right? So, and then the other thing I wanted to do is I want to challenge you today to do the iceberg exercise. And then, so print it, write it down, and then take a picture, snap it into the comment of this video, because this is about sharing our experiences with our soul sisters. You're not alone. You'll see that a lot of people go through the same stuff, and it's insane how similar. And it's insane how we can share, support, and really learn from each other and build that sense of community, because we deserve it, We're on this mission, this beautiful mission to help our gifted child thrive. And, if something works, then let's just do it, And sometimes you may have some aha moments. Oh, yes, yes, this I could try. Or this, I like it. It matches with us. It matches with our values and family, because everything needs to be matching and landing with how you want to live, because the more natural, the more efficient your action is going to be, okay? So I do want to challenge you, okay? Take this time for yourself to learn about yourself, to learn about your child, to work on this situation, to take the time to draft strategies and just set everyone up for success, right? So this is my challenge to you. I'm so excited. This is good stuff. So I'm excited. Action is amazing against anxiety and against everything that happens with your gifted child. Just set yourself in action. Even small steps help. Okay. So I'm so excited. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about perfectionism. This is going to be good. So we're going to talk about perfectionism. And in the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of your family. I wish you an amazing iceberg exercise. And feel free to comment, put in a comment, snap a picture and put in a comment to share with your fellow gifted moms, and just enjoy that little exercise. Okay? Take care of yourself and your little one. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye now.